The National Trust is famous worldwide for its stunning properties, but its gardens and its landscapes are equally spectacular. I'm Jane Moore, and in this series with the National Trust's official partner, STIHL, I'll be going behind the scenes to meet the people that maintain and manage these amazing spaces. Today I'm here at Chastleton House in the Cotswolds, where we'll be looking at a newly restored best garden, some very old topiary shapes, a no-dig kitchen garden, and finding out about the rules of croquet. But first, let's meet Rosie, the senior gardener. Hi, Rosie.
Thanks for coming.
Absolutely delighted to be here. I love this garden. But tell me a bit about Chastleton's history and what exactly is a best garden?
So Chastleton was built in Jacobean era, and the gardens are laid out around the house in a cross, and this is the east side of the house.
Right.
It's got all the best light in the rooms, and they look out over this garden, which is very formal and very structured in this sort of circular shape.
Right, so that's what makes it the best garden,
Yes.
and the fact that it's sort of on the best side of the house and
Very high
viewed
status.
by the best people of the house.
Yes.
And you've done a big restoration on this garden, haven't you, I believe?
Yeah, so we started in 2019, and we had photos and we had a few diary entries as sort of evidence. But when I first started, there were just the yew hedges and the topiary on the inside. All of the borders had been turfed over in the 1960s. And so we made the decision that where the garden had lost a lot of its interest over 30, 40 years, that we would then start lifting it back out. So we broke ground in 2019 on the inside, so we sort of radiated out from the sundial. And then this border was done in the autumn of 2019, and then we had COVID, so we had a bit of a break.
So, yes.
Not so great. And then we finished the final borders in the autumn of 2021.
But I'm guessing this isn't necessarily a Jacobean planting. This is a little bit more modern sensibilities.
We've got lots of photos from around 1900, which are obviously in black and white. So we knew the form and the movement and the shapes of things, but not necessarily the colours. So we were aiming to sort of match in with that era.
That oval style.
And luckily that style is also very similar to modern plantings. So lots of dense planting, so less weeding.
Because it's tricky with an older garden, isn't it? Because you do have to pick almost a moment in time that you're going to restore it to, don't you?
So we decided that we'd go for that feel, but we would use modern cultivars and plant breeding, so things that were more resilient to climate change and to the new pests and diseases that we have to deal with.
And you've got a lovely eclectic mixture of plants here, haven't you? Including some very old ones, but also some more modern varieties as well, like the steepers and things like that. It's a more modern sort of styling, isn't it?
Yeah, well, actually, in the Edwardian era, grass gardens were really popular.
Ah.
Sort of about 100-year cycle where things have come back into fashion again.
Yeah.
So lots of the photos that we had things very strappy-leaved plants and a lot of movement within them, so they move in the wind and stuff. So yes, it was quite nice to be able to use plants that I'm quite familiar with. Yeah. But were also
in vogue at that time as well. Gosh. And then these topiaries, I think, are absolutely fascinating. I mean, they're a story in their own right, aren't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've evidence of them being here at a similar time to when the house was built, mentioned in passing. So we haven't got plans or, but a lot of the houses built at the same time have this circular feature on the east side of the house with topiary within it. And then we've got later evidence in the 1800s of them being replanted. Right. So we've got kind of the receipts from that. And we've also got lovely photos showing how they wax and wane in terms of being tightly clipped or the slightly more cloud form. Yes,
because it's quite hard. I'm sure that some of them were animals and things, but it's actually quite hard to identify them at this precise moment in time.
Yes, we've got Spanish galleons in sort of full sail, peacocks, chicks on nests, but they were at the sort of the most cloudiness from the 90s really. And we decided as part of this project that we would very slowly start pulling them in and tightening them up.
So you're doing some really quite hard pruning on some of them, aren't you?
Yes, aided by our local cows that got in the autumn. We've had to stump some of them back, but we have been using that as a method. Box is brilliant in that you can be really quite tough with it, and you can take it back to a very small shape and sort of start again from a box ball and then start drawing out the topiary.
And some of these really are very old. You can see the trunks in them, can't you? That they are actually, you know, what, 150 years old, something like that. So this stumping back is actually, it would seem like quite a drastic thing to do to me.
Luckily for our sanity, some of them actually broke open in the snow the first winter. So it felt like actually it was really sensible to do those few shapes.
Yeah. So your confidence has built.
Yeah, and then they've come back. So this is one here that we did early on, and it's come back, and then we can start drawing the shape out with it.
So I imagine you'd have to water them, and given this dry season that we've had, Rosie.
So we concentrate a lot more on soil health here rather than using a lot of water. So we mulch things heavily and then encourage roots to go down to find their own water.
Which leads me on to the whole no-dig method in your kitchen garden, which I am really looking forward to seeing.
Yes.
Can you point me in the right direction?
If you just carry on through that arch, you'll find Alex.
Brilliant. Thank you so much,
See you
Rosie.
later.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, Jane.
Lovely crop of tomatoes.
Yes, they're
you've
doing
got.
really well outside this year.
They are, aren't they?
They are.
It's obviously the result of your no-dig beds.
It's something we were very keen to get into to save ourselves all the time that we were spending digging them every spring.
Yeah.
And we just noticed the soil structure is so much better now that we're not putting the fork through them.
Really? So how do you sort of go about it then? What exactly do you do?
The general idea is that every late autumn, perhaps the beginning of winter, you put about 1 inch of compost mulch on the top and then just let it sit there for the winter.
So that's just your normal garden compost that you make yourself?
Yes, that we make ourselves here.
And that really sort of invigorates the soil, and it's a lot less work than digging over every spring.
It's a lot less, and all those worms that were in the compost will then go into the soil and start doing that work that the fork used to do.
Right, of breaking it down and incorporating all that sort of organic
all the microbes
matter.
and the fungi and things like that goes back into the soil.
Yeah.
And we found that the structure and the drainage has been so much better as well.
Right, so it's standing up to sort of drought and things like that.
That's
much
right.
better.
It stops the rain from washing the surface away.
Yeah.
But also when it is drier, it does help retain that moisture
any
deeper
moisture.
in the soil.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's obviously doing really well. I mean, you've got all sorts of different crops that you're growing here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cut flowers as well.
We have cut flowers which go into the house, and any spare we can sell to the visitors.
And then you were doing some quite interesting crops, aren't you? A mixture of sort of perennial crops.
That's right.
Like the rhubarb and things, and these lovely globe artichokes.
That's
they're
right,
gorgeous.
they look absolutely lovely. And now they're going over into flower, so it's great for the pollinators as well.
Oh yeah, they're very good for bees and things, aren't they?
Right.
It's basically a giant thistle, really.
That's right.
And what other things are you growing? So quite interesting chicory of some sort, yeah.
Radicchio. And then, onions. We've had salad onions, leeks. We've got some pumpkins and squashes.
Oh, that's gorgeous, that little baby pumpkin.
Yes.
Very pretty.
And then several varieties of courgette, which are doing really well.
And we're back full circle to these fabulous tomatoes.
Lovely tomatoes.
So although this garden's brand new, it's actually quite a historical vegetable garden, isn't it?
Yes, we think there's been the vegetable garden here for several centuries, although it was outside of the original boundary of the house. But that's what we've reinstated, is to put, the vegetables, but also some of the herbaceous plants.
I was going to say, these herbaceous borders were here as well, weren't they?
Yes, they were. We think the idea there was to try and hide the gardeners.
The owners didn't want to actually see the gardeners, they didn't want to see the hard work happening.
Right.
They wanted it to
That was
just
the way
appear.
things were done, just wanted it to look nice.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't do quite the same thing with a lawn, can you?
You can't, it's much harder to hide with a lawnmower.
Absolutely, and I gather you've got a really famous lawn here.
We have got a famous lawn, so it was where croquet was codified in the Victorian era.
Oh, right. So I've got to see this lawn.
You must come and see, yes. It's just through the hedge over there. Please
Brilliant.
go and enjoy, have a game.
Thank you so much,
Alex. Thank you, Jane.
Hi, Rosie.
Hello.
I've just been looking at your historical vegetable garden. This place is just awash with history, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's had the same family living in it for 400 years up until 1991.
Wow.
Yes, and looked after by a lot of women as well, who sort of held the fort when either their male heirs were too young, or the men weren't doing so well with money and so were off in debtor's prison.
Oh dear.
Or they were very, very busy doing bonkers inventions.
Oh really?
Absolutely.
And I think that's one of the bonkers inventions that I've kind of come to have a look at, wasn't it? So I think that one of the owners set the rules for the game of croquet, didn't he?
Yes, so croquet had been in the country for quite a long time before that, but he was the first person to put into writing the rules.
So these are the famous lawns then, Rosie?
Absolutely, yes. So this is where the first rules of croquet were first codified in 1866 by Walter Jones Whitmore.
So he actually set down what he thought the rules should be. So are these sort of kind of standard croquet lawns then?
No, weirdly, considering he wrote the rules, that one's 7/8, and this is about half size. So they're not standard, but people play on the same lawn.
You're not managing this to a sort of competition standard, are you?
No, no. So we keep it as a domestic lawn that we cut low so that the balls roll nicely over it. But yeah, we don't agree with putting loads and loads of chemical on it. To be honest, the weeds keep it looking greener when it's really dry, so
Yeah.
it works well.
And one of the nice things about croquet is that it is such an easy game for people to just have a little knockabout, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So we should have a game in a short while, I think. Excellent. Thank you, Rosie. And thank you so much for joining me here at Chastleton House. I hope you've enjoyed this visit as much as I have. For more ideas, tips, and for more fabulous gardens, please subscribe to the STIHL GB YouTube channel. See you next time.